everyone. I'm Dr. Renee Mera. Joining me today is Ashook Ramsaran. I'm going to talk to him about his new book, Beyond Expectations, The Odyssey of a Village Boy from Guyana. Thank you so much, Ashook, for joining me today. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Your book starts chronicling your journey, very humble beginnings from a village called LetterKenny in Guyana, and that's rooted in the Indian indentured labor history that with your ancestors. And then you move on to the United States, becoming a very prominent civic leader and a very successful entrepreneur. And all that great journey of memories, some good, some bad, but that's what life is all about. What motivated you to write this book?
Well, I'd like to begin by saying that I'm an American born in Guyana of Indian parents whose forebears came from India as laborers during colonial times. And this book is the Odyssey of a Village Boy from Guyana. It's the story of my journey from Guyana to USA, beginning with my ancestors who left India, starting in 1853. It's a story of my yearning for education to escape the conditions of village life and poverty and advance the pioneering spirit of my ancestors, similar to those who left. It's a story of life in America, earning an education and assimilating to become a productive citizen, engaging global Indian diaspora and community. It's a story of family and love, sharing life and loss together. It's a story beyond expectations. It was launched on November 23rd, as you rightly said. And here is a cover copy of this, if you can see this, and the back as well, which was profiled by prominent people. The book is dedicated to Gerald, who passed away in 2020 at the age of 1 month preceding his 50th birthday. And it's a promise I made to him when he passed away in an auto accident, that this book is in keeping with that promise. It's also documenting my family's history, my life in the village, to living in the most acclaimed metropolis, raising a family, assimilating and contributing to the Indian diaspora and the New York community where I reside. A family heirloom legacy document for now and for posterity. That's how I view this book. This book is in 3 parts, with selected photos and an elaborate appendix interspersed with actual notes, letters, cards, and messages. It begins with a comprehensive journey which shows the entire journey at a single glance, from India to Guyana to USA. And the contents include a prologue, which is an introduction, a very expertly written foreword by Dr. David Davidin of Cambridge University, part 1, which is the early years in Guyana, with photos, childhood and family, part 2, settling in USA, with photos of the family as we assimilated and lived, part 3, civic engagement and global Indian diaspora,
from Guyana, and then moving on to the United States, and then becoming a civic leader and a successful entrepreneur with your Remix Incorporated company that provides signaling system to hospitals as well as to the Washington, D.C. metro system. A lot of movies have been made on British Guyana, at that time it was British Guyana, about the indentured labor history. One was Twice Removed by Chandel Prasad, and the other one was 1838. And your ancestors went through all that pain and the tribulations, and that you've chronicled as well in the book. And the launch of this book last month in November, New York, we had New York State Legislator Roxanne Prasad, Congresswoman Grace Meng, and many other dignitaries for the launch. What are your expectations from this book?
Well, to begin with, it was a sense of satisfaction that I fulfilled a promise to my late son, and a promise to myself to document our history. So it was a fulfillment of that sort of sense of satisfaction. What do I expect out of this book? I expect good reading, documenting our family history for posterity, a personal yearning to write my story, and possibly a likely template for others to use, and also a role model for future generations. Historical context of life in Guyana's farming villages, which is something educational, and an interesting journey, as I said in the title, Beyond Expectations. But I'm hoping it's interesting reading to many people and inspire my grandchildren and others to continue documenting our journey. There were, in the appendix portion of the book, there's family tree, articles, awards, memorials, including Kolkata Memorial, which I was significant.
That was, you had gone to India, you met Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, you talked about the memorial, and one was put out in Calcutta. You had the statue, and then you also got a congratulatory message from President Pratibha Patil, former president of India.
I approached the government of India with the sense that there were so many hundreds of thousands of people who left India as indentured laborers to Mauritius and South Africa and the Caribbean islands and Fiji, and why not erect something that will recognize their departure? And the government of India listened to me and believed in it and erected this monument in one of the depots in Calcutta. And I was instrumental in getting that inscription. I wrote it, the Prime Minister inaugurated it, and it was unveiled on January 11, 2011. And for that and many other reasons, I was given the highest award called the Pravasi Samman Award by President Patil at that same time.
So this monument was a tribute to the indentured laborers, paying a homage to them.
And later on, I was instrumental in building a replica of those monuments in Guyana, Trinidad, and other countries. And in November last year, Prime Minister Modi ji came to Guyana, and the ambassador asked for me to meet with him and explain to him what this monument means. So I took my grandson Jaden with me, and we met with him, and we spent quite time individually meeting with him and explaining that, and he was impressed. He went back to India, and he started another program to recognize and get UNESCO more involved in this labor route and reliable route in some circles. So I think it has some good incentives. It is an engagement of the diaspora.
You were the Secretary General of GOPIO, then the Executive Vice President, and the President of GOPIO, which stands for the Global Organization of People of Indian Origin. And you did a lot of extensive work as the President of GOPIO, strengthening Indo-Guyanese relations with India, as well as the Indian diaspora. And you traveled to many countries.
That's correct. I'm really satisfied with the extent of work I did there to enhance that organization and to extend its outreach to all the countries where Indians live, which included 22 different countries, and bringing the Indian leaders to those countries, including small countries like St. Vincent and others like Jamaica and others in the Caribbean. So I was really proud of that, and it continues to engage the diaspora. In addition to that, coming to the United States, I have engaged with civic organizations, including U.S. officials, and also continued that agenda of establishing markers. I've established 8 or 9 street namings for prominent institutions and people who have left, who are contributed to our civic society, including Little Guyana, Pandit Ramlal, Kali Charan, Way, and those things, because it's my belief that if we establish markers, we ourselves take pride in that, others notice it and recognize that we are here, and our children and grandchildren and the future generations can be proud of that. So it is an odyssey, a journey, which is fulfilled in so many ways. And of course, there are best moments and in life, best moments in writing this book.
I think the good ones, I mean, I know one of them, my memory with you, we both shared together. We had the privilege of being honored in New York City Hall.
In 2009, and there were some best moments, like when I was writing this book and organizing the documents and the photos together with Camille as my able and most helpful assistant, and the interest and advice of my grandchildren, Jaden and Gavin, who want to know more and help me to put together this journey history. And also, another important thing is remembering and reminiscing about those times when life was much simpler and happier.
Tell us about some of the not so great moments in the book.
Okay. In the book, in writing the book, it was an ordeal to obtain archival records in Guyana and India. And I believe that is a part of history where survival was more important than documents. But reliving sad moments and family losses and looking at the family tree and notes commemorating various events, there's some sadness in that as well, because then you remember those who have left us. In life, we have disappointments. Losing Jerry was a shock and horror. Beyond Expectations is a very appropriate title. We had racial attacks on my family and the home in Flushing when we first moved into that section and bought a house. The world has changed dramatically with overpopulation, overconsumption. I always believe that we're here to be working in synchrony with nature, and we have violated that symbiotic relationship. And we also have fewer people engaging in civic activities, and that's not a good sign for society. And lastly, disappointment. I believe technology is fast outpacing our ability to grasp it, and it could be leading to a lot of disappointment. So those are my disappointments in writing the book. And one of the good things about the journey is that I traveled the world. I met and engaged with many people, friends, and established monuments and markers of our journey. I was able to convince leaders of different countries of the ability to document and embrace our Indian diaspora as integral to their development and their culture and society. And it was a wonderful time traveling and meeting people. So this book encapsulates all that. In the appendix portion, which is very comprehensive, I have family trees, articles, awards, memorials. U.S. Congress member Grace Meng has put in my complete biography in the U.S. Congressional Record, which is an amazing accomplishment for someone from Guyana. I have included our eulogies and tributes, publications, and a village survey map from the 1800s where I was born. So I tend to believe that I've encapsulated the whole journey as best as I can in 500 pages, and I hope that others will find that very interesting. And I thank you, Dr. Mehra, for being such a channel to embrace us and all the different paths we take to bring it to light for others.
Well, tell me, this journey that you encapsulated, that's your personal narrative, but it actually is a narrative of many, many Indo-Caribbeans. Many people came from Guyana, relocated twice. So it resonates with a lot of people. And this becomes like you're creating a pathway of inspiration for the younger generation as well. What would be your message to the Indo-Caribbean community and to the next generation with beyond expectations, because you did go beyond expectations.
Thank you. My message will be as follows. Stick to your roots. Be proud of it because it has a history of 5,000 years plus of culture, tradition, and fortitude and pioneering. And that has brought us to this point. At the same time, you embrace where you are with education, assimilation, becoming part of the society, and establishing yourself with courage. Don't let anyone kid you about that. You have the courage, you have the language skills, and you have the ability. This is the opportunity, the place of opportunity that many of us from different countries come here. So utilize it. Time is not something to be wasted. And I urge all of you to, the young people especially, to remember where you are and where you came from. And so that will help you chart where you're going.
So have the courage and the fortitude, and at the same time, preserve your heritage and be rooted in your culture.
About 15 years ago, I was in Florida visiting, and there was a Guyanese pundit doing a puja. And there was about 400 people there. And he asked me to say a few words, and this was an impromptu, and I didn't know exactly how to say it. And he's a very renowned man named Pandit Ramlal. In fact, later I named co-named a street in his name, in his honor. And he said, say something to the people which you experience. And I thought about it. I said, wherever we as Indians travel, we take something with us. I call it 3 M's: the mantra, the masala, and the music. And that will sustain you if you stick to those. And it has for me, and I'm proud of that. And I'm proud. I'm the proud son of a coolie too. I've said that so many times because we came from poverty and we overcame it, and we're here making a mark.
And where can we get this book? Is it on Amazon?
It will be on Amazon within 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I hope it's an enlightened reading. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ashook Ramsaran. I'm Dr. Renee. Stay healthy, stay positive.